Hi everyone. For each one honorable way to succeed, there are a dozen ways to cheat in order to get there too. Over the thousands of years of sport, although we'll stick to the most recent 200 or so, these people take the cake for doing it dirty. In the end, cheating is cheating, so in today's video we bring you 10 athletes who got caught cheating. They are just ginormous samplers with an array of flavors. Be sure to watch till number 1, because it'll put a rotten taste in your mouth. Let's begin. Number 10. Diego Maradona, Hand of God. Diego Maradona is widely regarded as one of the greatest soccer players of all time, if not the best. The Argentine legend was so good, that one time when he blatantly cheated it became an iconic moment in the history of the sport. It became known as the Hand of God. In the quarterfinals of the 1986 World Cup, Maradona scored Argentina's 2 winning goals, the first of which will forever live on in infamy. Rather than heading a swooping cross into the goal, he actually reached his hand up and tapped it in. This was long before the days of video replay review, so the goal stood as called on the field. Later, Maradona would score what many regard as the goal of the century, pushing Argentina to the semi-finals and eventually helping them win the cup. To this day, Maradona shows little remorse, while English fans have never forgotten, nor forgiven him. However, back in 2008, Diego did apologize for the Hand of God, yet the damage was already 20 years past due. Number 9. Tonya Harding. It might be hard to believe now, but 20 years ago, Tonya Harding was one of the best figure skaters on the planet. Of course, that all changed on January 6, 1994. That was when Harding went all underground gangster on everyone and hired hitmen to take out opponent Nancy Kerrigan, with 3 men, including Harding's ex-husband, Jeff Gillooly, popping Kerrigan in the knee with a telescoping baton. Sad thing is it worked, kind of, as Harding was able to compete in the Olympics just a few weeks after the incident before receiving a lifetime ban and a number of other penalties. Number 8. Thierry Henry's handball. Thierry Henry's clear handball gave France the victory over Ireland in a 2009 World Cup qualifying match. In the build-up to the goal, Henry controlled the ball with his hand before squaring for teammate Gallas to finish in extra time. Gallas' goal meant the tie finished 2-1 on aggregate to France, ending Ireland's hopes of making the finals in Germany the following summer. Henry was widely criticized for his part in the goal, but he admitted shortly afterward that he handled the ball to aid in getting the ball to teammate William Gallas. The missed call signaled an outcry of rage for Ireland. Wouldn't want to be the referees heading to their cars after this one. Number 7. Spanish Paralympic basketball team. Much like the Olympics, the Paralympics are subject to rampant cheating as well. In 2000, the Spanish Paralympic basketball team claimed a dominant gold medal via nefarious tactics, as nearly the entire team were not handicapped. One disgraced player, Carlos Ribagorda, revealed to Spanish media that most of the team did not even undergo the requisite testing to prove they met the standard to play in the games. In wake of the news, the team was disqualified and ordered to return their gold medals. Number 6. Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa has been suspected of using performance-enhancing drugs for most of his record-breaking career. He's long maintained his innocence and never failed an MLB-administered drug test. But that alone didn't land Sammy here. Instead, it was an incident from 2003 that cost him an 8-game suspension and had fans side-eyeing all of his moonshot home runs. During a game against the Rockies, Sammy hit a weak grounder to second base, breaking his bat. When the Rockies catcher picked up a piece of it, he noticed that the middle of the bat was hollowed and stuffed with cork. This is illegal, as it makes a bat lighter and allows a hitter to swing quicker. Sosa was ejected from the game, and the MLB later confiscated nearly 100 of his bats, including a handful that were enshrined at the Hall of Fame. Sosa said he kept the corked bat so he could put on a show for the fans during batting practice, and the MLB eventually ruled it an isolated incident. Still, for a guy clouded by allegations, the scandal did not help his image. Number 5. Sal Alosi. On a Sunday afternoon, a side of sports you never like to see reared its ugly head in New York. Sal Alosi stuck his foot out where it did not belong on an NFL sideline. Unfortunately for Sal, he didn't have the pedigree Tomlin does, and as a mere strength and conditioning coach, his sideline antics cost him his job. The incident occurred during a New York Jets and Miami Dolphins game back in 2010, when he stepped too close to the field and seemed to lean into Miami gunner Nolan Carroll on a punt. Alosi tripped and injured Carroll on the play. There was no penalty called on the play, but Alosi was later fined $25,000 by the team and suspended indefinitely. The NFL levied an additional fine of $100,000 against the Jets, and Alosi resigned a month later. Alosi has yet to work in the NFL again, but if you remember his name it might be because he's the coach from UCLA that reportedly got into a fight with Diddy back in 2015. Maybe this guy isn't the greatest person to have around your team. Number 4. Nelson Piquet Jr. Crashgate. In the long run, cheating hurts. Not just theoretically and philosophically, but in this case it hurts physically as well. Crashing a car is no joke and can cause permanent damage, but that's exactly what was asked of Nelson Piquet Jr. back in 2013. Piquet listened to his team orders, spinning out and crashing into a wall, helping his teammate Fernando Alonso win the race. The crash took place in the only position on the track which required a safety car deployment, and post-race data from Piquet's car showed him continuously pressing hard on the throttle even after the back of the car drifted out. Alonso, his teammate, went on to win the race in 2008, but it wasn't until the following year when the whistle was blown. Piquet eventually confessed to the cheating. The team's managing director, Flavio Briatore, was banned from all Formula One events as a result. Number 3. Anthony Gaskell. The marathon is surely the most draining of all sports. A 69-year-old Anthony Gaskell was due to receive a plaque after running the fastest ever time by a pensioner in the London Marathon. However, it emerged he had taken a shortcut during the race, climbing over a barrier where the course doubles back on itself at Tower Bridge and cutting out 10 miles. 6 weeks later he had been stripped of the award after he admitted taking the shortcut, claiming he was injured and had dropped out. Apparently Mr. Gaskell, came clean about what he'd done. It would have been impossible for somebody of that age to have done it that fast. According to his electronic timing chip, worn by all runners, he completed the first 20 kilometers in just over 2 hours. There was then a gap in the chip readings before he crossed the 40 kilometers mark about 41 minutes later, a pace that not even the world record holder could match. Just before we reveal the number 1 on this list, we would like you to take just a few seconds to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. With that out of the way, here's the best we saved for last. Number 2. Luis Resto boxer. Antonio Margarito got caught before he could use his loaded gloves, but back in 1983 we saw exactly what could go wrong when a boxer gets in the ring with an illegal set of gloves. Luis Resto wasn't expected to beat undefeated prospect Billy Collins when they faced each other, but he did so in dominant fashion, beating Collins to a pulp. After the fight was over, Collins' father and trainer Billy Sr. went to shake Resto's hand and realized his gloves felt strangely thin. Billy Sr. immediately protested for the New York State Athletic Commission to confiscate the gloves and investigate, and when they did they found the gloves had been tampered with. Over an ounce of the normal padding from the gloves had been removed and replaced with chalk. Resto pleaded ignorance, but he was suspended along with his trainer, Panama Lewis, indefinitely. Resto tried to regain his boxing license for over 15 years, to no avail. Eventually he admitted he knew about the removed padding, and even said Lewis soaked his hand wraps in plaster of Paris to make them harder. Resto served 2.5 years in prison for the incident. Collins never fought again and died shortly after the fight in a car accident that some believe was a suicide. Number 1. Lance Armstrong. There are cheaters, there are liars, and then there is Lance Armstrong. Let's not fool ourselves here. Former 7-time Tour de France winner Lance Armstrong openly lied and got away with his doping for over 10 years. Sure, there was always suspicion around Armstrong and the way he battled back from his testicular cancer to win all those yellow jerseys, but it wasn't until he openly admitted to Oprah that he finally admitted fault. Lance has done some great things outside of cycling, but dude also deceived the sport for a long time. No athlete in history has ever cheated the system so methodically or behaved in such an unethical manner. From a systematic doping program that never got caught to alleged bribery and lawsuits, Armstrong behaved like a bully and ruined lives in the process. The most damning allegation to come out of this scandal is that Armstrong paid the International Cycling Union (UCI) to cover up his positive doping test. So out of the above cheaters, which one is the most disappointing? Let us know in the comment section below. That's our video for today, folks. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't and check out this playlist to your right for more top 10 videos. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.